It's time for NFL video by my daddy, Professor MJ.
It's time for my NFL picks for what may be the most exciting NFL weekend of the year, the Divisional Round. We get to watch 4 high-quality games this weekend, a real blessing for football fans. I'm Professor MJ and I teach statistics to university students. I also host this sports betting show in order to help as many sports bettors as possible by providing good information that hopefully helps you in your decision process. Alright, thanks for being here and let's dive into each game right away. Divisional Round game number 1, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans, who are 3.5-point favorites. Among the 4 games this weekend, this is the one where I had the most trouble making a pick. I am not going to place a bet on this game, but I will still provide a pick for entertainment purposes. In short, most of the information I dug is pointing in Tennessee's direction, but my gut feeling wants to back Cincinnati. First, the Titans are coming off a bye week, which is vital this late in the season when all players are banged up. Some trends also entice me to bet the Titans. They are 6-2 ATS at home and 5-2 ATS when facing teams with a winning record. However, they are 0-4-1 ATS in their last 5 home playoff games. Cincinnati's defensive line is thinned by injuries after losing Larry Ogunjobi and having a banged-up Trey Hendrickson, who led the team in sacks. You don't want to be in that position when facing a well-rested Derrick Henry. Also note how Cincy surrendered an average of 7.4 yards per rush to the Raiders last week, a team that is not even good in that aspect of the game. That is certainly worrisome for Bengals fans. The good news for Cincinnati is their passing attack is great, which turns out to be Tennessee's weak point on defense. My only worry is whether the offensive line will be able to hold up after allowing the 3rd most sacks in the league this year. I was going to go with Tennessee, but I changed my mind at the last second. That shows you how little faith I have in this pick. So my final pick, with very little confidence, is Bengals plus 3.5 points. Divisional Round game number 2, the San Francisco 49ers at the Green Bay Packers, who are 5.5-point favorites. A key element in this game is the status of defensive end Nick Bosa. At the time I made this video, it remains unclear whether he will suit up or not. If he does not clear the concussion protocol in time, Aaron Rodgers should feast on the Niners' secondary. Even if Bosa plays, that should be a big problem for San Francisco. Their weakness on defense is defending the pass, which does not bode well when facing Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Granted, on the other side of the ball, Green Bay's run defense is suspect, while the 49ers use great running schemes that allow Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel to gain good chunk of yards on the ground. Still, my pick goes to the team from the frozen tundra. The Niners will be on the road for the 3rd consecutive week. The temperature is expected to be minus 17 degrees Celsius or about 1 degree Fahrenheit. That won't help the California team unless gusty winds make the passing game more complicated, which would be a plus for the Niners. The injury news are more favorable for Green Bay. I already mentioned the Nick Bosa injury. San Francisco may also be without linebacker Fred Warner. Meanwhile, the Packers are likely to get 3 key guys in their lineup: left tackle David Bakhtiari, star cornerback Jair Alexander, and linebacker Devondre Campbell. The rest factor also gives an additional edge to the Packers, since they had a bye week. You may argue that San Francisco has the revenge factor going their way after losing 30-28 earlier this year, but Matt LaFleur's team has not forgotten losing the NFC Championship game 37-20 in 2019. During that game, San Francisco ran the ball 42 times for 285 yards, and they only needed to attempt 8 passes in that easy victory. Also, I find it hard to bet against the Packers as home favorites. Aaron Rodgers has done extremely well in this situation. In fact, Green Bay has covered the spread in 6 of the past 7 games as home favorites. They won't slow down if they have the lead, and Jimmy G is likely to turn the ball over if that happens. In summary, my pick goes to the Packers laying 5.5 points against the 49ers. Divisional Round game number 3, the Los Angeles Rams at the Tampa Bay BUCS, who are 3-point favorites. Both squads had surprisingly similar numbers during the 2021 regular season. The Rams and BUCS defenses ranked 6th and 3rd in terms of rushing yards allowed per game. They ranked 5th and 8th in terms of passer rating allowed. On offense, the Rams produced the 25th most rushing yards per game versus 26th for Tampa. Finally, both passing offenses were stellar. The Rams had the 3rd best passer rating compared to 1st place for Brady and company. It's incredible how similar the numbers were. That sets up for a tight game, which is generally good for the underdog. In this case, the outlook for the Rams is even better considering the matchup. We all know the best way to disrupt Tom Brady is to pressure him up the middle, since he is not mobile. Well, the Rams happen to have Aaron Donald on the inside of the defensive line, and Tampa's center, Ryan Jensen, got banged up last week. He is likely to play, but he does not seem to be 100%. The Rams have been historically good playing in Tampa. Indeed, they have beaten the spread in each of their last 5 trips over there. One thing that worries me is the fact that the Rams lose 1 day of preparation after playing last Monday, and they will be traveling across the country for this meeting. Still, I like the Rams in this spot. Losing Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown at the wide receiver position will finally catch up with the BUCS offense. Since losing Godwin to an injury, the effect has not been too bad, since Tampa played weak passing defenses: the Panthers twice, the Jets, and the Eagles. The absence of these 2 playmakers will be obvious this week. I rarely pick over-unders, but I have to admit I like under 48.5 points here. Both defenses looked strong, and the BUCS are getting a few guys back from injuries. Tampa has surrendered an average of just 14.2 points in their past 5 games, while LA has allowed an average of 17.1 points per game over their 7 most recent outings. In conclusion, I've got a couple of picks in this game. The Rams plus 3 points and under 48.5 points.
Tac, 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 tac.
Divisional Round game number 4, the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs, with the Chiefs being 2.5 point favorites. This is an awesome matchup. What a treat this game should be. From a betting perspective, I have to go with Buffalo. Both offenses are great, but the main difference comes from the defensive side of the ball, where the Bills clearly have an edge. The Chiefs' defense started the season on the wrong foot by squandering an average of 29 points per game over their first 7 meetings. Then they raised their game a notch by allowing just 13 points per match in their next 8. However, they have not looked as strong recently. As a matter of fact, they allowed 34 points to the Bengals, 24 to the Broncos, and 21 to the Steelers. Also, Buffalo has enjoyed quite a bit of success in Kansas City over recent years, as evidenced by their 6-2 ATS record at Arrowhead Stadium. The Bills won 38-20 at this venue earlier this year, but will want to avenge their AFC Championship game defeat from last year by a 38-24 score. The Bills have been great as road underdogs of late, 9-3-2 ATS record, while the Chiefs have been equally good as home favorites. They beat the spread the last 5 times in such conditions. Notice, however, how Kansas City has had a tendency to struggle after a great offensive performance. Indeed, the Chiefs are 4-11 ATS after scoring at least 30 points. The Bills' running game has improved a lot recently, thanks to Devin Singletary rushing for 93 yards per game on average over the past 3 matches, while adding 5 TDs on the ground. Therefore, my final call here is to grab the Bills plus 2.5 points in Kansas City. If you asked me what my 3 best bets are for this weekend, I would go with the Rams plus 3, the Bills plus 2.5, and under 48.5 points in the Rams vs. BUCS showdown. I cannot believe we only have 7 more NFL games to watch this year. Enjoy it while it lasts. Thank you so much for watching this video, I appreciate you. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, The Lone Sports Betting Show, hosted by a guy owning a PhD in statistics. In case you like the NBA, my last 24 YouTube picks have generated an incredible 20-4 record. Don't miss out on them. I'm Professor MJ. Bye bye, my friend.